and maybe they're going to get Donald Trump to finally recognize that Putin is a hurdle to peace or something. But then again, then you're back to square one, and the number of weapons you send to Ukraine is not going to actually make up for the lack of manpower. So even if you go back to square one and you just
thank you very much,
get
Mr.
everybody
President.
involved in like
think in the past
defensive posture for Ukraine, it doesn't change the dynamic on the battlefield unless there's like actual military
3.5 years.
Military intervention.
The fact that
all right, let's just get started. Fuck it. Let's talk about the actual issues and the actual things that matter. All right, let's get into it.
But it would be, I like the ceasefire from
I'm going to blast off. Does anyone have a blast off meme right now?
But I believe a peace agreement at the end of all of this is something that's very attainable, and it can be done in the near future. With all of the wars that I got involved in, we only have this one left. Of course, as I walk out the door, there'll probably be a new one starting, and I'll get that stopped too. But I thought this was going to be one of the easier ones. It's actually one of the most difficult and very complex. The next step would be for a trilateral meeting, and that will be worked out. And I just look forward to working and having a great result. We're going to spend a lot of time today talking about, and we're really honored you guys came over. I mean, these are the heads of major countries, respected all over Europe. Largely, I think I should say, but pretty much for the other countries of Europe. And we will come to a resolution today, I think, on almost everything, including probably the security. And that's pretty much the story. I'd like to say, Mr. President, would you like to say something? You have the media. If you want, you could come over and you could stand, you could use mine, or you could just turn around, whichever you feel comfortable with.
Thank you so much. I can speak without microphone. Thank you so much. I think that we had very good conversation with President
Bro, we can't hear you if you speak without microphone.
It was the best one, or sorry, maybe the best one will be in the future. But it was really good, and we spoke about very sensitive points. The first one is security guarantees, and we are very happy with President that all the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you and on those leaders who are with us in our hearts. They have been online before yesterday, and etc. So a lot of countries on the side of Ukraine, our people, and all of us want to finish this war, stop Russia and stop this war. We spoke about it, and we will speak more about security guarantees. This is very important that the United States gives such strong signal and is ready for security guarantees. The second point, or maybe the first, the humanitarian direction, very important to exchange all the prisoners, and I think that President will help. And I was very thankful to your wife again, Mr. President, for the letter about our abducted children, and I hope that really
it's not a suit. He's not wearing a suit.
For the people.
He is swagged out, though. I wouldn't say this is a suit. He's just wearing a jacket. No?
And be happy.
Get the people back, yeah?
Yes, this is so important, and I'm happy that we discussed it, this track with the President Trump, and I hope that we will find decisions. And then what is very important that territorial, etc. We will discuss on the level of leaders during trilateral meeting, and President Trump will try to organize such meeting, and he said that he will come or not come. Ukraine will be happy if you
both
participate.
Want me there, I will be there. Yeah,
yeah,
you know
thank you. And I think this is very important. Yes, so security guarantees, bringing kids back, and all our people, not only warriors, first of all warriors, and all the civilians, journalists, a lot of people in prison. So we need them back. And guarantees which will work for the years. We spoke about it, and I showed the President a lot of details on the battlefield, on the map. Thank you so much. Thank you for the map, by the way.
Good map.
It was great.
Good map.
I'm thinking how to take it back.
We'll get you.
Also,
I think
blast
that
it off. Let the people know.
We had constructive, specific meeting.
Let the people know we're live. We're live. Let it be known.
All the leaders who are here, and you help a lot, and so we are happy that we have such big unity today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much,
for hosting us.
Mr. President. I think you'll see that President Putin really would like to do something else. I think when we set that up, when we do, I think it's going to be when, not if. I think you're going to see some really positive moves. I know there's over 1,000 prisoners, and I know they're going to release them. Maybe they're going to release them very soon, like immediately, which I think is great. But we're going to set that up today after this meeting. So very good and great remarks. I appreciate it. Mark, as head of NATO, maybe you could say a few words, please.
Yes, I will be very brief. I really want to thank you, President of the United States, dear Donald, for the fact that you, as I said before, broke the basically with President Putin by starting that dialogue. And I think it was in February that you had the first phone call, and from there we are now where we are today. And that is, I think, if we play this well, we could end this. And we have to end this. We have to stop the killing, we have to stop the destruction of Ukraine's infrastructure. It is a terrible war, so I'm really excited. And let's make the best out of today and make sure that from today onwards we get this thing to an end as soon as possible. I really want to thank you for your leadership, what you are doing for Volodymyr, but of course also all the European colleagues. It is really crucial. And the fact that you
Dear Daddy Trump, I want to thank you for your leadership.
Guarantees is a big step. It's really a breakthrough, and it makes all the difference. So also thank you for that.
Well, NATO also has agreed.
I just don't understand why Zelenskyy. Look, Zelenskyy seemingly looks happy.
It's 2%. That wasn't.
So I don't know what they told him, but
that's a big difference, and so we appreciate that. That was a great move. Thank you very much, Ursula. Maybe on behalf of the Commission, you could say a couple of words.
Yes. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a very important moment. Indeed, we are here, Europeans, as friends and allies. We had a fantastic NATO summit. Together as the two largest and biggest economies in the world, we had the largest trade deal ever agreed. And now we are here to work together with you on a just and lasting peace for Ukraine. Stop the killing. This is really our common interest, stop the killing. And indeed, it's very good to hear that we're working on the security guarantees, Article 5 lies security guarantees, so important. But I want to thank you also that you mentioned the thousands of Ukrainian children that have been abducted. And as a mother and grandmother, every single child has to go back to its family. This should be one of our main priorities also in these negotiations, to make sure that the children come back to Ukraine, to their families.
Thank you. And we did. I was just thinking we're here for a different reason, but we just a couple of weeks ago made the largest trade deal in history. So that's a big thing, and congratulations. That's great. Thank you very much, Ursula. Mr. Chancellor from Germany, a very great leader.
Mr. President, dear Donald, many thanks for having us today. I think this is extremely helpful that we are meeting and hearing that the two of you are having such a good meeting today here in Washington. The next steps ahead are the more complicated ones now. The path is open. You opened it last Friday. But now the way is open for complicated negotiations. And to be honest, we all would like to see a ceasefire, the latest from the next.
Am I crazy? This is not how they were talking before. You ask European leaders about Russia, they were talking like King Von. And now they're like, oh, we want peace. We've always wanted peace. Peace is the best possible solution. What happened? They literally, they are so fake, bro. What happened? I'm not even kidding. Like they used to be like, oh, we're going to make the guns talk. We're going to make our guns do the talking.
Should be a trilateral meeting.
Yeah, we're sliding for Zelenskyy. We're sliding for Zelenskyy all day, every day. We're going to send. Keir Starmer said he's going to send the British military.
We can do that. I will say, and again,
Macron was like, we might use nukes. You know, I mean, he didn't say that, but
I haven't had a ceasefire. We just got into negotiations, and one of the wars was, as you know, in the Congo was 31 years long. Another one that we settled last week with two great countries was 35 years going on, and we had no ceasefire. So if we can do the ceasefire, great. We don't do a ceasefire.
Truth, I guess.
Because many other points were given to us. Many points were given to us.
Remember all the wars I ended.
Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much, Donald, Mr. President, for hosting us today in this important meeting. And I think it is an important day, a new phase, after 3 years and a half that we didn't see any kind of sign from the Russian side that there was a willing for dialogue. So something is changing, something has changed, thanks to you. Thanks also to the stalling in the battlefield, which was achieved with the bravery of Ukrainians and with the unity that we all provided to Ukraine. And the reason why I mention it is that we also have to remind that if we want to reach peace and if we want to guarantee justice, we have to do it united. So that's why it's a very good day, the one
it's so funny that these like highly educated, well, not Maloney, she sucks, but like a lot of these guys are highly educated libs, right? They have a decent understanding of the world. I might not agree with their worldview, but like they're not stupid. So when they hear Donald Trump be like, I'm ending all the wars, including the one in Congo, I ended the India clash, like they just have to sit there and be like, yes, Mr. President, you did do that. They know that's not the truth. But what can you do in this situation? He just kind of sits there and he's like, I've done it all. I've ended wars that you didn't even know. Like, they literally just have to sit there and appease him.
So we are always ready to bring our proposals for peace, for dialogue.
It's just like
something
a permanent
we have
ring-kissing operation.
Together to guarantee peace and to defend the security of our nation. So thank you, Mr. President, for hosting us.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel?
Thank you, Mr. President, for organizing this meeting and for your commitment. And everything was said, but I just have to say here, everybody around this table is in favor of peace. And we work very hard, and we've worked very hard during the past few years to have a peace which is a robust and long-standing peace. This is why the idea of a trilateral meeting is very important, because this is the only way to fix it. And by the way, I think as a follow-up, we would need probably a quadrilateral meeting, because when we speak about security guarantees, we speak about the whole security of the European continent. And this is why we are all united here with Ukraine on this matter. In order to organize such a trilateral meeting, your idea to ask for a truce or ceasefire, at least to stop the kills as we discuss, is a necessity. And we all support this idea. And in order to have such a long-standing peace for Ukraine and for the whole continent, we do need the security guarantees. And the first one is clearly a credible Ukrainian army.
What does that look like? What does that look like?
And the second one is
what does this look like? This is what I need to understand.
And
like they keep saying we're going to do security guarantees, but what does that mean? You know what I mean? Is it like NATO-style security guarantees without actual NATO intervention?
Guarantees and our commitments. And you can be sure that Europeans are very lucid about the fact that they have their fair share in these security guarantees for Ukraine, but their own security is clearly at stake in this situation. So you can count on us, as we can count on you, in order to deliver this robust peace for both Ukraine and Europe.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you for hosting us here. Can I start where Emmanuel started, which is we all want peace. The war in Ukraine has had a huge impact, particularly on the Ukrainians who've borne the brunt of it, but it's also had an impact on Europe and on the United Kingdom. There's not a family or community that hasn't been affected. And when we talk about security, we're talking about the security not just of Ukraine, we're talking about the security of Europe and the United Kingdom as well, which is why this is such an important issue. I think this is such an important meeting. As a group, I think we've had a discussion on the phone a number of times, Mr. President, but be able now to be around the table to take it forward. And I really feel that we can, I think, with the right approach this afternoon, make real progress, particularly on the security guarantees, and your indication of security guarantees, of some sort of Article 5 style guarantees, fits with what we've been doing with the Coalition of the Willing, which we started some months ago, bringing countries together and showing that we were prepared to step up to the plate when it came to security. With you coming alongside, the US alongside what we've already developed, I think we could take a really important
I don't know. Maybe this is like a face-saving operation for the West and America's like military prowess or something, where they just have to make it seem like they're actually standing down from the Russian incursion with 20% of Ukrainian territory and perhaps even more now being relinquished to Russian control, and they're just saying like, but we actually did such a good job.
Thank you for being prepared to take that forward.
You know what I mean? I don't know
if
what the
we
security
can
guarantees are going to look like.
ensure
I don't even
that,
know if like
that
Vladimir
is,
Putin is
the
actually
progress out
going
of
to
this
follow
meeting, those
through
security
on the
guarantees and
conditions of the
some sort of
ceasefire.
progress
I don't
on
know
track.
what the actual details of the
Need to
ceasefire look
open
like
some sort
currently,
to bring,
but
some
it
of the
doesn't.
difficult issues to a head.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like this
Today will
is
be seen as a very important day
anything
in
different than
recent years.
just
In
straightforwardly
relation to a
saying like,
conflict
no,
which
you
has
get
gone on for
all of your
3
maximalist
years,
positions,
and so far
but please
nobody
promise that
has
you're just not
been
going to
able
hit Ukraine any
bring it to
harder.
So thank you for that.
Well, thank you very much. And, it's very interesting because this is the first for the White House. You can't say that very often. It's seen a lot over the years.
Maybe they're just
over
like presenting
since
this as a way to be like, see,
1799,
we tried to do a
be
peace.
almost
I could see them doing this as a way to be like, see, we try to do peace. Putin is actually the big hurdle to peace. And maybe they're going to get Donald Trump to finally recognize that Putin is a hurdle to peace or something. But then again, then you're back to square one. And the number of weapons you send to Ukraine is not going to actually make up for the lack of manpower. So even if you go back to square one and you just
thank you very much,
get
Mr.
everybody
President.
involved in like
I think in the past 2
defensive
weeks,
posture
we've probably
for Ukraine,
had
it
more
doesn't change the
progress
dynamic on the
in ending
battlefield
this war
unless
than
there's
we
like
have
actual
in the past
military
3.5 years.
military
I think
intervention.
the fact that we're around this table today is very much symbolic in the sense that it's Team Europe and Team United States helping Ukraine. And the progress that we're looking out.
Do you think
of this
Putin is a hurdle to
meeting,
peace? I mean,
is
considering that he
about
did
the
invade
security
Ukraine,
guarantees,
yes.
which are a big part.
He is the
of
warring
this.
party
and then,
here.
Of
He
course,
is the
moving
belligerent.
towards a process with a trilateral meeting with
Yes,
you.
I do think
and
that.
President Putin and President Zelensky. Some of the international media
That's
might
crazy.
wonder, why is the president of Finland here? I think the reason is probably
gotta get out of
that
your
we might
rational
come
bag
from
on
a
this
small
nonsense.
country,
None of this is
but
rational.
We have a long border with Russia, over 800 miles.
I'm
and
noticing
we,
a
of course, have
significant lack of Turkish presence at this table, and it's
Russia
frustrating me.
from World War II, the Winter War and the War of Continuation. And if I look at the silver lining of where we stand right now, we found a solution in 1944, and I'm sure that we'll be able to find a solution in 2025 to end Russia's war of aggression and find and get a lasting and just peace. The situation is very difficult, but that's why we're here.
Thank you, Alex, very much. Good job. So we're going to be meeting for a while, and we're going to discuss some of the issues. And I don't think there's any issue that's overly complex. It's at a point now where people want to do things. I really do believe. I've known him for a long time. I've always had a great relationship with him. I think that President Putin wants to find an answer too. And we'll see. And in a certain period of time, not very far from now, a week or 2 weeks, we're going to know whether or not we're going to solve this, or is this horrible fighting going to continue. We'll do our best to get it ended. And I believe you have two willing parties, and usually that's good news, but two willing parties that want to make a deal. And we'll journey together, and we'll go over, and we'll see if it can be done. And it's possible it might not be able to be done. On the other hand, it's possible it will, and we're going to save thousands and thousands of lives a week. And so it's something we really have to do. And, or at least we have to give it our best. It's all you can do. You can give it your best. But I think we may have a very good outcome. So I want to thank you all, and the media, I want to thank you. We're going to be staying here for a little while. Then we're going to walk over to the Oval Office, and we're going to have another little discussion about similar matters. And then they're going to go home to their great countries and report. And I'm going to remain here and work, and you're going to go and work. We're all going to be working. We may be in a different location, but that's what we know how to do is work. But I want to thank the media. Has been actually very fair, generally speaking, very fair. I think it's important that they're fair because this is a very important. This is a very important.
I can't be the only one
subject.
confused by this, right?
And
like,
so
am I feel like I'm not alone in this, right? There is like, this is a confusing set of events that has taken place specifically around the issue. They just keep having meetings, whether it be Vladimir Putin coming to the United States of America or whether it be European leaders coming to the United States of America, and there is no negotiation. What is going on? They just keep saying it's at the table, it's imminent, but they never actually define what the terms are. And they don't even, Like, we don't even know. It's just a meeting about a meeting. It's a meeting about a meeting for another meeting in the future at a certain point, at a certain date. And I truly don't understand what is happening here. Blue Anon was right. Just admit it. Wake up, HasanAbi. No, I don't think it's like Agent Krasnov shit. I said this already. Looking at what has taken place so far, especially in the aftermath of that Trump meeting with Vladimir Putin, I came to the conclusion that is maybe not so great for a lot of American dominance enjoyers, American hegemony enjoyers. But I came to this conclusion that, like, I think Trump doesn't have any other way out of this. I don't think any American president would have a different way out of this. It's just like they tried it. They tried to, atrophy the Russian military. They tried to destroy the Russian economy in the process with the mother of all. Ultimately, Putin kind of won. And I don't know, like when Trump said to Zelenskyy, you don't hold all the cards. I think he after this meeting with Vladimir Putin, I realized that, I mean, America doesn't have any of the cards here either. Because if, like, the ultimate solution here is just like an escalation to nuclear warfare, in that regard, this is one of the first instances where, like, a direct military intervention from a foreign adversary against an American proxy, against a Western proxy, if you want to see it that way, led to the foreign adversary winning. It's just because there's nothing else that the Western world could do. There's nothing else that the Western world could do in this regard. I wouldn't even consider Afghanistan to be similar to this. Vietnam is a good example, I would say. Korea turned into a stalemate. Vietnam is a complete defeat for American interests, for sure. But even then, like, this is like with Vietnam, America was the Russia and didn't even have the same kind of ambition that Russia has with Ukraine, because it's not in their backyard. Vietnam is not America's neighbor, and America was militarily invading Vietnam. It's like if America invaded Mexico and then Russia and China were boosting the Mexican defenses to withstand like an American annexation. That would be the equivalent. Do you see what I mean? Like, Vietnam is America creating a puppet state and trying to maintain some kind of control over the entire country through South Vietnam with puppet leadership, whereas like the USSR is obviously funding and is invested in the defense of the North Vietnamese liberation.